What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Locals Skate. I'm your host once again, OG Skate Show. And today we have another local in the house. And let me tell you, man, we got another old buddy from the nightclub chat room. My friend, Andres Alfonso, a.k.a. Afar25 on Instagram. If you know him, you know him. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm feeling great, man. First question I ask everybody is, what city you repping? Now, before you answer that, let us know where you're coming from and let us know what city you're repping now.
Well, dude, actually, you know what? Give me a second. You know, I was going to clown you because you're wearing sunglasses, but it's really bright in here, man.
You want to start over?
Yeah, hold on. So, 1 sec.
Oh.
All right. Now we're good. So, what are we talking about now?
Let me know what city you repping, dog.
Man, I live in LA. I live in Mid-City.
Mid-City?
So I guess, you know, repping Mid-City LA.
Okay. Is that where originally you're from, or?
No, I'm like from all over the place. So I was born in Providence, Rhode Island. So I'm an East Coast guy.
Wow.
But all my family and all my blood is from Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah, South America. So I moved when I was like 5 years old. So I really rep Bogota Colombia, which is like the capital city of Colombia.
Shout out.
So that's where I started skating. So that's kind of like what I think is the city that I rep. And it's like where all my blood comes from. So, you know, being a transplant is kind of hard to like figure out who you repping and what you repping, right?
You know what? You represent what the heart tells you, bro.
Exactly. I feel like it's just the blood that comes from there. You know, all my family's Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I started skating in Bogota. So to me, that's like...
That's everything.
That's where it started, you know?
That's rad, man. And do you remember the first time you picked up a skateboard?
So I really don't remember. It's funny because you recently had a guest here that kind of reminded me of my story.
Okay.
So I have 2 older brothers.
Okay.
And one of my older brothers, the middle one, he's 10 years older.
Ooh.
And he used to skate when we lived in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
So, you know, when I was, you know, before I was 5, between 1 and 5, he was 10 to 15.
Yeah.
He used to skate back then, so I don't remember the first time I picked up a board.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember I always felt comfortable riding a board. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't
but
remember.
It was always around.
Yeah, I think it was like really natural thing. I never felt like I never felt awkward on a board.
Right.
You know, like I would, you know, do my butt boarding and then on my knee and then I would like tic-tac-toe.
Right.
And I knew how to turn already, you know? So like when I started actually skating for real, it was years later.
You had a natural...
Yeah, I was already comfortable on the board.
You already knew whether you're regular.
Yeah, so I can't really tell you you know, when was the first time I did it. I remember my first time it became serious.
Right.
You know, it became like a thing.
Right.
But I think I rode a board since I was a little kid. I just didn't know, you know. It was just like my brother probably put me in it.
A lot of us had them in the garage or in the background, and sometimes they were just toys at the time. And then next thing you know, like I seen somebody do a trick, and I go, "Wow!" Like I had one of those before, so I think I want to try it again or something. You know, like something called me out to it. But since it was always in your life, bro, like and your older brother.
Yeah, so I have 2 older brothers. One of them is 10 years older, and the other one is 13 years older. Mm-hmm. So I kind of grew up with having 4 parents, kind of. You know, because they're much older, so like
they're looking out.
Yeah, they left the house when they were in their early 20s. So I kind of grew up always with having my parents and then my brothers who are kind of like my parents, and wherever they went, I would visit.
Okay.
So you know, again, you know, I lived and I was born in Providence, Rhode Island, and then we moved to Colombia. But then growing up, I would come back to the States and stay for a year, and then go back to Colombia and stay for another year, and then go back. Wow. And then, so we just kind of like travel all around. So that's kind of like how it was at that moment. So, you know, again, just kind of like your previous, one of your recent hosts, one of your recent guests. Well, I kind of looked up to...
You could say who he is because you're going to come out after.
Yeah, okay. So, after hearing Sticks, you know...
Sticks champion?
There was a lot of things that related to me, you know. He mentioned about the fact having an older brother, and he wanted to, like... He looked up to him, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of did the same thing. Like, I wanted to be like my older brothers.
Exactly.
You know? Because my brothers were cool, you know. They had, like, long hairs, tattoos, earrings.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, like, everything they did, I wanted to
And
do.
I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate.
If they're
the little brother.
for sure. But then I think an advantage that I had was, it was an advantage and a disadvantage, which was since we're like so far apart in age, they left when I was young.
Right.
So every single time I would see them, it would be something special, and I wouldn't really get tired of them because I'm not seeing them all the time.
Right.
Right? So it's like you get to learn how to appreciate the time that you have together.
Always.
Because, I didn't have, my brothers left when I was like, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old when my oldest brother left to college and then moved on to his life.
That's got to be hard.
So
you're looking up to these dudes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they left me behind with everything that they had.
Oh.
So it was kind of like the history was kind of left for me to like piece it all together, let's say.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, so picking up the board then and knowing what you did from your older brothers, is that where you start putting the puzzle together and trying to do tricks? When did the first trick come in?
Yeah, I think it came like way after, growing up, again, because my brothers were not there all the time. It's not like I was having their presence on me.
No friends that ever...
So at that time, no. I think, I went through all the extreme sports, let's say. I rode a bike, I did BMX, and then I rode roller skates for a bit.
Yeah.
And then when I was riding roller skates, I went to go visit my brothers. They were living in Brazil at the time.
Jeez.
They were living in Sao Paulo.
Another around-the-world guy. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, my family is like a travel family, and I love to travel myself.
Of course.
And I took advantage of everywhere anybody is at. I'm going to go there and visit, right?
That's rad.
So I think 98, I went to go visit my brothers. And at that time, I was roller skating, right? Mm-hmm. So my middle brother, he was an English teacher at the time, and with whatever little money he had, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy a skateboard, so I can go to the park with you, so you can roller skate and I'll skateboard, and we can skate together." And I'd be like, "Oh, cool, that's dope."
Yeah.
So like I remember my first board, because that was it. We went to like this really like special mall in Sao Paulo.
Okay.
Which is called Galeria do Rock, which is like the rock mall.
Okay.
And this mall is like a skater's heaven. It was like 5 or 6 floors, and it was all skate shops, tattoo shops, or music shops.
That's crazy.
And it was like insane. So we go there, and my brother is literally asking me like for approval on everything that he's getting, right?
Yeah.
He's setting up a freshie, but he's not asking me.
Oh.
He's just like, "What do you think about this one? I'm going to set this one up for myself," because again, when he first told me the story, he was like, "I'm going to set this board up for myself so I can go and skate with you in the park.
Right.
You'll be on your roller skates, I'll be on the skateboard."
Yo,
right?
Okay.
So we were in the mall, and he's like asking for my approval on everything that we are selecting, right? He's like, "What do you think about this board? What do you think about these wheels?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is sick. This is cool."
Yeah.
So, he sets up his board, and we eventually go to the park a few times, and he would, he hadn't skated in forever, but he could still, do basic tricks here and there.
Right.
And then I would ride it too every now and then, but I wasn't, it wasn't like a thing for me,
Right. Right.
And then I remember we are going to the airport. I'm heading back to Colombia, and then I see my brother taking his skateboard to the airport, and I'm like, "Why are you taking your board?" And he's like, "Oh, there's cool spots at the airport. I'm just gonna go skate over there." I'm like, "Okay,
really?
cool." So then we're like, about to say goodbye, and then my brother hands me an Allen key.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember those.
And he gives me an Allen key, and I immediately get it. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's giving me the board.
Oh.
And I was just like, "What? Are you serious?" And he's like, here's this one. Take this one with you.
Oh.
And I'll be honest, like I didn't really use it right away.
No.
I literally took it to Colombia, and I was still, riding my bike. I remember I would put it on the floor to jump over it. Until then, I saw some people skating. Like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then...
I got one of those.
I was like, exactly. I was just like, what? I got one of those?
Yeah.
So I went out with my board, right? All my Brazilians set up. And I was like, "Hey, dudes, like...
What's up?
What are you guys doing?" And like, that's interesting,
Yeah.
Like, I want to learn that too.
Yeah.
And that's how it kind of all started, Like, it was just friends I met in the neighborhood. It was, again, in Colombia. It was in Bogota. And I had a few friends that were just starting out. I had one friend whose dad had come to the U.S. and got him a board and a few videos from a skate shop.
Okay.
And then he got him to him, so we would watch. I remember we would watch 2 videos all the time. So we would watch Birdhouse the End, like like
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
daily type thing.
Dude,
like
I
it's a
love that
ritual.
video. Yeah,
You know?
I love that video.
Yeah, favorite video for sure at that
Okay.
time. And then we would also watch a 411. I don't remember the number, the issue number, but we would watch those two videos like all the time because it was the only thing that we had, right? And my friends had already gone through the process of like watching the video 1,000 times and trying to figure out like how the hell are they getting their boards stuck to their feet.
Yeah, exactly. You like, rewind, press play.
Exactly.
Rewind. Yeah.
So when I met them, they were probably like a few months in already. Mm-hmm. So they knew how to like do ollies and maybe kick flips and like front sides and back sides.
Okay.
So that's how it all started with me. It was kind of through my friends in Colombia, but again, I think I was just ready for the moment, like my brother set me up. And I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I know what I have to do here. I gotta go get my board and start.
I'm clenching my beer listening to your story. Like, I'm so enthralled, man. This is awesome, bro. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, question number 2, I guess.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. Do you remember the first trick you landed or first trick you attempted on the skateboard?
After an ollie, I think.
After an ollie.
I think the first trick I ever learned how to do was varial flip.
Varial flip.
Yeah, and because of it, it literally took me like 1.5 years to learn a proper kickflip.
Oh.
Because every single time I would try to kickflip, I would like throw my board in a varial flip position. So like it would always be crooked. I couldn't
to just toss it.
Yeah, I just could not get a kickflip to do straight.
I can see that though.
So it took me forever. I learned how to do a varial flip before a kickflip.
That's fucking bad.
And whenever there's this discussion about varial flips on the nightclub, I'm always giddy and funny because like that's like the first trick I ever learned. And
is it a shove it kickflip?
Yeah, and hearing kids calling it a varial.
Varial, because you don't turn your body, dude.
Yeah, it's so weird though. But kids just call it a varial though. They just call it a varial. They don't call it a varial flip.
Oh, really?
They just call it a varial.
Kind of just cut the word again.
Yeah, and I just trip on that. But yeah, for me it was varial flips. That was probably the first trick I ever learned after the ollie.
Right.
And again, because of it, it took me like another year and a half to get a proper kickflip.
I remember being so young and just dedicating the whole day just to try one. Like I'd post my wheels in a crack or something, line or whatever.
Yeah.
Stationary, try to do it, try to kickflip. And then I figured out you're not going to do it when you're stuck in a crack, or on the grass.
Yeah, it's way different when you're moving.
You have to start moving.
Yeah.
You have to start moving to do something, man.
Yeah. No, I like right now I can't do it stationary. I can only do kickflips if I'm moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do a switch kickflip stationary, but not not a regular one.
And do you know what goofy or regular?
Goofy.
Yep. All right. Switch skater? Do you do any switch tricks?
Yeah, I love switch. I love nollie. I'm a switch push Mongo guy.
Okay.
So I heard your intense discussion with Sticks Champion.
Sticks Champion is
I'm here to vouch for Mongo pushers
Sticks
for switch only of
in
course.
The house.
Yeah.
Sticks is in the house.
Hell
Just to let everybody know that we're keeping it a secret that Afar is gonna be the next episode, but Sticks actually met up with Afar, and Afar brought him down to the studio to do this thing. And shout out to the old buddies.
Hell yeah, the old buddy crew, man.
Old buddy crew.
So sick.
I love it, man. I love it. Are you kind of a music guy when you skate? Do you pop in the earbuds? Anything like that?
I do sometimes. I kind of have been lately not doing it just because I kind of do like to be self-aware of what's going on. If I try to be a little bit more social nowadays.
Right.
Maybe when I was younger, I would always just put something and just like focus on
some
me.
Some people like to hear the wheels.
Whereas nowadays, like whenever I go to the park, I like to hear if somebody's like close to me, so I know when to stop, or if like if somebody says hey whatever, you know what I mean, just to be like aware. So I sometimes I put music, sometimes I don't.
Right. Board setup. What's your board setup?
So after Roger's lesson on board setups, I kind of have my own quiver as well.
Right.
You know, so like I have my street board, which currently I'm riding a 8.0 primitive board.
Okay.
With some Thunder trucks. I've been riding Thunder forever. And then I'm trying the Dragon wheels that you have. That you have right here.
Yeah. Pair?
I got those. I got those right now. It's the first time I'm trying them.
Okay.
I got some 52s.
Mm-hmm.
I normally ride Spitfire. I like the conical ones.
Okay.
But you know, I gotta try out the wheels, and so far it's interesting. But you know, it's an adjustment that I have to make. Mm-hmm. And then I have a curb board. Let's say, you know, it's my attempt to try to learn any curb tricks.
Which is not bad.
And it's a polar board. It's a 875.
Fuck.
And it has the structural trucks, Spitfire wheels, and it has rails on it.
Rails on it.
Yeah.
Sick. Have you put that to the test?
I have. I can say that I can do board slides, and that's pretty much it. But you know, I've been going out there to the curbs, to the Venice curbs, and I've been trying to like learn my things and you know, do some things here and there. You know, sometimes I pop my board, which is frowned upon, but you know,
on a slappy.
Yeah, but like I'm learning. You know, I'm learning.
Good, but fat boards, to be honest, like I haven't skate a big pig yet. I guess I don't know if they call it that, but. I did purchase a Bell Gun Gary, big fat.
Oh, like the egg one?
The big egg one, but I can't bring myself to skate it now because I love the dude and I have to keep it as a memento.
You're gonna have to get a second one, man.
I just have to get another
one to wall, one to skate, right?
Just if you're a board collector out there, don't buy something that you're gonna want to keep. Buy a board that you're willing to scratch. Just let me tell you that right now, man, because that's the worst thing.
Or better yet, just buy two boards, right? One to skate.
If you got that kind of cash.
One to hang.
If you got that kind of cash.
There you go. You're right.
Yeah. If you could splurge, handle.
It gets hard sometimes.
It's
for
hard.
sure.
Times are hard.
But I'll tell you what, though, it took me like 20-something years to try rails on my board, right? So to me, that was just interesting, you know. Like I've never done it. I never thought about it. I've used racers, you know, back in the day.
I did have that too.
But like, never have I ever had rails on a board.
I used to have some stuff called bridge bolts. I don't know if anybody remembers bridge bolts.
No, what are those?
They were like one bolt came like with a big slab that went across the top of the like two front trucks.
Okay.
And then I didn't know that it was a cheat for an ollie, like so your shoe can get caught on it. What? I thought it was dope because you didn't have to have two tools.
I see.
You could just like tighten up the bolts right away.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but they were called bridge bolts.
Yeah, so again, like my brothers left all this 80s stuff back home when they left. So one of the things that my brother had, he had like truck covers. So it's like a plastic thing that would go on top of your trucks, like so that you're grinding on the plastic instead of your
trucks, right?
So
because
it's like
back in the day,
they
love to keep their graphics like dope. That's why they put all that plastic everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah.
Could you imagine? Like,
funny to try, like, rails 20 years after you've been skating. You know what I mean? Like,
but have you gotten used to it yet?
No, but it's fun to just try it. It's just like I don't I only use my curb board like once a week or like once every 2 weeks.
You don't have to use the rails just on curbs.
Yeah, but that's where I have them set up. You know,
I
don't want to put rails on my street board.
I'll let you skate the rail outside. We'll put a light out.
Hell yeah, we'll put it to test then.
Yeah,
I got both my boards, I always got to carry the equipment.
All right,
I mean?
and then
I'm ready for both.
And all of us too, sticks included. We're all gonna hit the mini ramp in the backyard as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
street skater trying to do tranny.
Love it. Sticks is in the house still. Hell yeah, he's in the audience. Let everybody know all the way from the UK. So. On to the next thing. Do you have well, this is what I want to get into with you. Shoes.
Sure, let's talk about shoes.
Favorite shoe to skate?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Like ever or right now?
What are you rocking right now?
Okay, so currently I am wearing some Silo SC. Mm-hmm. So it's a special concept. and it's the silo with the different type of sole.
Okay.
But I've been skating a lot of the Axel Slims.
Axel Slims.
Yeah, just a lot of different colorways. Once you start skating more, of one shoe, you kind of start noticing that there's differences between the colors and the materials.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So even the same model shoe does not fit me the same.
It doesn't ride the same.
Yeah, depending on the color and the material.
Right.
So some of them give, some of them are too tight. I kind of have like a white foot with bunions and everything, so like I need a white shoe.
White shoe.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's really hard for me to like pick just like a single favorite. I just I like a lot of them.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking, back in the day, I remember fondly the Andrew Reynolds 3, the Reynolds 3. They were brown with black, white sole, and they had like a little diamond on the shoelace. It was the sickest thing. I had the best tray flips with those shoes. And then Circa was huge in Colombia.
Okay.
So like, I had a lot of different Circas. I remember
fondly. Those things are bricks.
I remember fondly the JT, I think the 501s, so the Jamie Thomas 501s. They were black, all black with a strap on. It was kind of like the Fallen shoe before Fallen.
Okay.
And then another huge one.
Shoe guy, Steezes, are you listening?
I know, like I just love talking shoes, but I just kind of remember the shoes that I felt really good on,
Yeah.
And then another one that I would say is the Musca Supra 3.
Okay.
It was black with white sole. It was like a mid top.
Yes.
Probably favorite shoe ever.
Ever?
Yeah, if I had to choose one single one, it was a Supra Musca 3, and it was like a mid top. But I've been rocking S. I want to say probably for about 5, 6, or 7 years. Like whenever they came back.
Right.
It's kind of when I kind of like started adjusting some of the things that I was supporting. So as I got older, I started realizing that like the companies that I support are maintaining skateboarding, right? So I just thought of like, Nike doesn't really need more money or my money.
Nike doesn't do anything
to continue to sustain itself, right?
Anything against Nike.
Nothing against it. I like the shoes. I think the shoes are really dope. I don't like all of them, but some of them are really dope.
I've tried skating them.
Yeah.
And most of them I couldn't. The feet didn't feel good.
So
to be honest,
I've skated a few here and there. Like I remember having some P rods back in the day that were like really cool. It's just that again, as I got older, I just started realizing like I'm supporting whatever I want to see live and to continue to be out there, right? So, for example, when I'm buying something from S, I'm realizing that like these are skater-owned companies.
Yes.
And these are people that really need my money because they need to continue to stay afloat.
Right.
And again, all the bigger companies like Nike, Adidas, New Balance, they have like a huge market, right? They can dedicate themselves on just getting money from basketball, let's say.
That's right. Just one
sport. Etnies, America, Lakai.
Yes.
Even Vans. Their market is literally skateboarding. And maybe like surfing, right?
Right.
And then Etnies has like, the shoes for bikers and stuff. But like their market is so much smaller.
Very
than
small.
The other huge companies. So like,
listen, skaters.
I purposely just started adjusting who I'm spending my money with. So yeah, it's just been like, adjusting the way that you're supporting the things that you like, right?
Exactly.
So I started doing that with everything, not just with shoes. I started doing that with boards, with clothes, with wheels.
I have to agree.
Like whenever I go to Colombia or Brazil, I always buy anything local. Because I'm trying to support the local scene in these places, right? So I think it's one of those things that I just started to understand as I got older, because like, when I was younger, I always wanted to have like the freshest thing and the coolest thing, obviously. But like,
but you know what? That's what they feed to you and make you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want you to feed into this glory and this thing, and you're like, wait a minute. You kind of lose yourself in a way where you're not being... Like, I want to be authentic to myself and true to what I love. So why not support what I love? You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Like, skater-owned brands, I love to give back to, but just to dive in a little bit on that, like, I remember when I was skateboarding and I was, like, taking photos of myself with Grizzly shirts on. Nothing against Grizzly. but I wasn't using the Grizzly grip. But I was buying the clothing, and you know, I bought a box or whatever. Like it was like a Christmas box where it's like whatever you get, you know, like kind of like a surprise box. And so I'm taking these photos, and I'm like, I felt bad. I'm like, I'm not buying the grip. Like, what am I doing? Am I faking it? Like, why should I do this? And then they're not supporting me either. Not to get into that, but so that's kind of what brought me to doing Skate Show.
I see.
Right.
To do your own thing.
Do my own thing because I was taking these photos. I got this photo. I got mob grip on. I got this Grizzly shirt. How am I? That doesn't look right, right?
Yep.
So okay, let's brand myself then, kind of way. So I branded myself. Well, I didn't give myself the name, but branded myself, and then I started just rocking with the stuff, and I felt more better and pure that I'm gonna just support. Like you said, S shoes, right? I love S, right? I want to rock anything that I'm gonna actually use.
Yeah.
Right? And then put my name behind that. Otherwise, why am I? I'm not gonna put my name behind Nike. I don't wear Nike stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I 100% agree with. Like,
yeah, and again,
getting
like
behind those companies.
You know, when I was younger, I had a couple of the P rods. I remember I always wanted to have like the P rods too.
I support P rod.
I just never got them.
You know,
I just recently got some shots just because I just really like the shoe. Like I just think it's like a dope
I'm
design.
not mad at that. I'm not mad at any of the big brands when they're working with the people that we love. You know what I mean? We got to back up the skater as well.
Yeah. And then again, you know, you have your own taste and stuff like that. So like,
I'm not saying to spend all your money in one place.
Yeah, you know, diversify if you can for sure, right?
Just make sure to support.
Yeah. I also like I own a lot of S shoes, but I really like skate every single one of them.
I know.
And I normally go for like sale items, you know. I always look for the sales. I always go to the skate shops whenever they have 2-for-1 type of thing. You know, whatever works, you know.
Dude, but S has such a good variety. But like you said, all the shoes though on S, you know, like for me, my favorite shoe is gonna be the OG XL.
Okay.
Because they're the fatter ones. They got more support to me. I'm a bigger dude. Like, and then I really liked, for some reason, some of the soles kind of changed though. Sometimes they make this one shoe, like the Avant, or like I love the Avant, but I bought another shoe where sometimes they change the sole where they put this other sole on, and I go, whoa, that doesn't feel the same when I'm on the board. Like, I thought I had the same shoe, but then we have a friend like Victor Brooks go, oh, no, they put a different sole on that shoe, you know, and he knows all about this because, you know, he gets it.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of mashups, so that's kind of what they've been doing.
But you got to pay attention if you're purchasing, too.
Yeah.
If you're looking for style or if you're looking for skate function.
Yeah, and then some of them, you know, I think it's with any shoe, you know, like it depends on the brand, right?
Right.
So some of them run a little bit bigger, some of them run a little bit smaller. So you gotta like downsize or go up a size.
I know whatever. If I'm buying the XLs, like I know they're gonna be tighter, but I'm not buying those to actually skate because I like those for the style.
Got it.
Right.
So for your cholo style.
No, just to rock whatever like. Well, you know, sometimes they might be hard enough to rock with the high socks, you know.
Oh hell yeah!
But otherwise, the color patterns are always working with my outfits.
Now, you want to hear something funny? I had an S Vito for like the longest time. And it happened to me like this. You know, back in the day, you know, when I was younger, I went to the skate shop and I bought myself some OG. Axles. They were not called OG axles. They were just called axles at that moment. There was no slims at that moment.
I thought they were XLs.
Well, XLs, whatever you call XLs. There you go.
We're calling them.
So I remember it was white with black and green, and it had like that green sole. You know, it's kind of like gel looking sole.
You're talking my style, green.
And I literally just skated with them for like a week, and it blew out. Like the sole blew out. It literally just kind of opened at the bottom.
I blame unfortunately how maybe the colors and everything didn't match up for.
I think the material was probably not the best.
Right.
And then after
some
that,
just don't work for
I was just like no S for like the longest time, right?
Yeah.
And then I came back with some accelerates, which is like the axle slim but leather. And then again, once they came back, because they had their hiatus when they were gone, right?
Right.
And once they came back, I started like slowly but surely, like, oh, I like this shoe, And again, I was able to find something at a good price.
Right.
At that moment, I think I was riding a lot of Fallens and then some Etnies. And then I got myself, some issues, and then I've just been sticking with it since then.
Sick. Dude, I fucking love it, dude. Love it. Do you have well, let's talk about your stickers. Let's talk about your side thing, dude. That's what I'm excited about, man. So,
well, what do you want to talk about, though?
Wow, let me know what's going on.
Wait, what specifically, though?
Give us the info. Like, we have a bunch of stuff that you brought over here. I don't know if I can bring it all up here. Oh, drop something. You got it?
Yep.
So this man over here does amazing work behind the scenes. Like, you have a page they can follow, right, to get your stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So, as we talk, I go by the acronym of Afar25.
Yes.
So my website is afar25.com.
Okay.
And then my handle and everything, everywhere is afar25.com or Afar25.
Right.
I have my personal site where I sell kind of like my artwork. Mm-hmm. So I've been an artist since I was a little kid.
You have great art.
Thank you.
Awesome. Jesus Christ, I don't.
So yeah, I've been doing art since I was a little kid. I think I was one of those people that kind of had a clear idea what they wanted to do when they grew up.
Make sure to blur this one out when I put it up. I didn't even realize that. Jesus Christ, we're gonna get a strike.
There you go. Little dong right there.
A little dong in there.
Strike.
So yeah, I think again, since I was a kid, I always wanted to be an artist.
Yes.
Right. And it's funny because skateboarding came into my life, and it gave me direction in my professional life.
Okay.
Because again, I've been drawing. My first memory of drawing or being artistic is 6 years old, right? So I've been drawing since, and then when I started skating around 15, 16, I was, seeing the magazines, watching the videos, checking out the graphics and the boards and everything.
And you're like,
and I was just like, what? Like, who makes this logo?
Oh,
like, who makes this graphic? Who makes this ad? Who's laying out this magazine?
I wish I was thinking like you.
And then when I started asking all these questions, I sooner or later found out that it was a graphic designer that is doing most of these things. Now, graphic design is kind of like a really vague, huge word that encapsulates a lot of different things. But it's a graphic designer that's laying out the magazine, a graphic designer that's coming up with the ads. They're also doing colorways. They're also designing the logos and the graphics. So for me, it was just like a switch, full on. Like
that's
that's your
direction.
Like, I was gonna go to school for art. I was like in my house, a big thing that my parents always instilled in us was education.
Yes.
It was one of my dad's goals to make sure that all three of us.
Listen, kids.
That all three of us were like college graduates.
Yes.
That was his like life dream. So again, since I was a kid, I was like, I'm gonna be an artist. And then skateboarding came in, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a graphic designer instead. So if it wasn't for skateboarding, I think I would have gone through the art route.
Right.
But instead, I went through the graphic design route, and I still do art just like on my spare time.
Right.
But my professional job is I am a graphic design manager.
Wow.
At a toy company. So I make anything that has to do with graphic design, but also with web design.
Wow.
So again, on my spare time, I do my illustrations, I do my work. As you can see, a lot of it is just kind of like humanizing animals.
Yes.
And putting animals in the same stature as humans, or putting them on, just giving them the flow and the flavor that they need. You know what I mean? Like, so they got the gold tooth, they got the flashy sneakers.
I see it. This guy's happy to see.
There you go.
Be himself.
Yeah, he's got his shoes on right there. Right?
He has no issues. Doesn't matter what he's packing.
And then I try to be, positive. I try to be positive with my messaging too. Yes. Like, be cool, be you, be strong, be whatever you want to be. So that's on my artistic side, let's say.
Right.
And then I recently started about a year or two ago a skate website.
Okay.
Which is called skatelive.com.
Yes.
And we also have an Instagram for that. And then this website, I started it out with two friends, two photographer friends. And then the idea and the concept was just to talk skateboarding, essentially.
Who are your two friends?
So I initially started it with two of my friends. One of them is Christopher, and the other one's Enrique.
Okay.
One of them is based in LA, and the other one is based in Miami.
Okay,
and
shout
they're
out
both,
to them.
Yeah, shout out to both of them. They're both amazing photographers.
Yes.
And I kind of just pitched the idea to them, like, hey, look, I want to create this channel, the skate channel, where we can just talk about, you know, our experiences within skateboarding.
That's dope.
And then I was focusing on the part of just sharing my experience with, you know, traveling or with art or with graphic design or meeting people or going to a different city or going to a new place.
Yes.
And then they're sharing some of their work along with words that go with whatever was happening through the session or however they were feeling. And we did this for, you know, right now we're in year 2. A few months ago we lost. So yeah, we were talking about Skate to Live. So I started it with 2 homies. I think we already mentioned them. So my homie Christopher, and then my homie Enrique. One of them is based in LA, the other one is in Miami, and they're both like amazing photographers. And then a year in, my friend from LA, Christopher, he was kind of like overwhelmed. He was just like, dude, I'm kind of like, you know, done for now.
Right.
So it's just been me and my homie from Miami, Enrique, and we just been holding it down.
So you and another guy from Miami.
Yeah,
just
and
stay
it's
connected.
and it's my friend. I met him actually in Colombia. He's a Colombian friend. We met in school, and it was funny because when we met in college, we kind of lived in separate areas, so we kind of had a preconception of who we each were.
Right.
So we only got together to skate, not really hang out.
Right.
And then
I've been there.
Yeah, and then later on, like years later,
You start noticing.
we
you
hung
do
out.
that? You do that?
And we're like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
And
Yeah.
then we realized we had all these things in common, right? So we just kind of like kicked it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then so you know this year it's my second year I gone to Miami on a Miami trip. So I meet up with him and then we drive to Tampa and we hang out in Tampa. So last year I went in September.
Yes, you did.
And then this year I went for Tampa Am.
Yeah.
And then my homie he has friends in Tampa, Colombian friends who work at the park, who skate at the park. So we get like
all access,
full buy-in in there. So I went to go experience Tampa Am at the age of 37. And it was hilarious because, I'm obviously not there to skate. I'm just there to go and watch and take some pictures and to just,
put 4 wheels on the ground.
Yeah, but also just to like, to like feel the vibe, let's say.
Right.
And I ran into Kelly. Right?
Kelly Hart.
To Kelly Hart. And the first thing he's asking, he's like, what are you doing here?
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I'm in the run. I don't know why you're not scoring me better than because he's a judge, right? And I'm like, I'm in run. I was like, I'm in heat 32.
Yeah.
I'm run 7.
You didn't see me
like,
or
you
what?
didn't see me or what? And he's like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
He's like,
I didn't see you on the scorecard.
I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm a judge. I'm like, dude, you got to judge me better. So we just started, chopping it up and just laughing.
And just to let everybody know, he wasn't in the heat. Kelly Hart's good.
Yes, I was not. He still doesn't want to sponsor me, but I was out in the heat, so it was all good.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Kelly Hart. Hello.
But yeah, so I've been doing that for like probably 2 years now. But I've always had a skate blog since forever. I always had this vision. I just never knew how to like put it together. Because I always have a lot of ideas.
But I think you're doing quite well.
Well, thank you. But yeah, like I always have a lot of ideas. I always kind of like struggle with, I have momentum and then all of a sudden you kind of lose that momentum. And then most of the time I do all this stuff on my own. Mm-hmm. So this was one of the first times I wanted to do it with friends to try to like push each other.
Right.
Like whenever I felt like I was not slowing down,
right. And
my friend would pick up. And I would be like, oh man, I gotta match his energy, right? Because like I can't be just chilling and not doing anything if he's pushing it. So it's been fun. We've currently like on a hiatus. We're trying to like figure out how to like how to write the articles specifically.
Right.
My friend, he films a lot. He shoots a lot. I've been filming here and there. And I also photograph a little bit here and there. Mm-hmm. But, I do whenever I can. And I try to, like, balance it out with all the other things that I have going on in my head.
You got a lot going on, it seems like.
I try to stay busy.
So you're working and you do all this on the side. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I work full time. And
you managed to put skateboarding in.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta skate,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, skating is such an important part of my life and my routine.
It's therapeutic, isn't it?
Full on. Like, if I don't skate, I start stressing out more. I'm short temper. Things seem to be more difficult,
Trust me, I know what the fuck happens if I don't skate.
Yeah. So, even my wife, every now and then, she'd be like, you should go skate.
Get outside.
And it's kind of like, okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Shout out to the wifey backing him up, man. I love that.
But for sure, I think she understands that I just get like too riled up or too much in my head.
You just need to get.
Yeah, and then when I'm skating, like I'm just not thinking about anything at all. I'm just like skating, and my mind is just like completely free, and I'm just having a good time. Like even when I'm falling down, I'm just having a good time. Like every single time I step on my board, it literally takes me like 2 to 3 minutes to be like, oh, okay, I remember why I love to skate. Like it just takes you 2 minutes in, and then you're like back in it.
It's almost like if you don't get yourself to get your ass outside the door, you're not gonna know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, if you just sit at home, you're not gonna feel it
for sure. And I think I kind of had that approach with everything in my life. Like art is very similar, right? For you to make art, nobody can force you to do it. No. You just have to do it yourself, right?
Exactly.
So skateboarding is the same way in that sense. Nobody can force you to do a kickflip. You just gotta go through the steps and learn it.
You're not really part of a team in a sense.
No, it's
all. You know what I mean? It's all individual.
It's all individual. It's all the work that you put in. Yeah. Right. So it took me a while to learn how to skate on my own, right? Because when I started skating, I was always skating with friends.
Yeah.
And then
I won't really want to go unless I have someone to go with.
No, it took me a while to learn how to skate on my own, and then once I learned that, I feel like I took more pleasure in it, and I also figure out that skating is for me.
Right.
Like it's really fun to go out with your homies and get the clips and everything.
It's the best.
But skating is for me.
It is for me, and you know what happens when I do show up by myself? I make new friends when I get there.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize that I had friends there before I even got there.
Yeah.
That's what I love about skating.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, you don't think that just because your homies ain't there. Did you get there and then people start seeing you rip it up and shit? They might say hello. If not, fuck it. Have a good time.
Yeah. No, and I feel like once you're skating, you kind of have this understanding with whoever is doing it.
Right.
That you've gone through the same hurdles as the person in front of you.
Well, you can tell how they skate.
So you have this relationship with this person right away.
Right away.
Because damn, I know how long it took me how to do an ollie. Like if you know how to ollie, damn, you're like right there with me, right? You're like in par with me. You understand how much it took to get to that level, right? Because it's like.
Did you have the hard time as like when I was a kid? Like most people would be like, get the hell out of the way or something if you don't know what you're doing. But nowadays, I feel like more people have all the kids' backs where they're like, you got this. You know what I mean? Like, I think things changed.
Oof, I kind of grew up, well, in Bogota, it's a little bit kind of like East Coast. Okay. In the sense that it's kind of like hard love.
Right,
and what I mean by that is they'll punch you and beat you down.
Well, I didn't get that.
But it's with love, though. And what I mean by that is they'll clown you on your style and your shoes and you pushing Mongo.
Right.
But they're doing it for your own good, right? Because
you would think.
No, but for me at least. Right?
Yeah. No. It is all for the better, but some people can take it one way and some people might go, oh, they don't like me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. But to be honest, if you hear that, kids, bro, they're just looking out for you. They don't mean no harm. If you hear that, but most of the time, they're not like that no more. Yeah. Usually they're like, come on, they're trying to show you the right way nowadays instead of...
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a level, there's a balance there because there's some people that are just haters,
Of course.
They're going to hate no matter what.
You can't get away from that.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some people that are just like good vibes and good positivity.
What you'll find here.
Yeah. So I'll say growing up, I kind of had a little bit of both. I kind of got judged more so than anything. And I think it was also because when I would go to the skate shop, I would get clowned by all the skate shop dudes because I would go there with my parents, right? Because my parents are buying me my stuff, right?
Oh,
so it's
I didn't see that.
I didn't understand the whole skate shop thing or the whole skate shop vibe until I was like way older.
But there shouldn't be that vibe.
And I went to like a cool skate shop and I understood like, oh, okay, this is what a skate shop is meant to be. Because like again, when I was growing up skating, like there's a lot of envy and there's a lot of like people who just want to do the trick in front of you just because you're trying it or something. And I feel like back in the day. And I feel like I was a part of that too. You know,
they kind of mold you into that.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a hater, let's say, but then I kind of like just look into myself and I was like, what am I doing that for?
I gotta admit, I was that dude. Like, if I was trying to heel flip all day and then somebody just busted in front of me, I would be like, why would you do that, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
to each his own.
Yeah, so I think I got a little bit of both.
So I want to get back to your stickers, man. I love all the artwork that you do. This is coming down to the end of the show, right? I want to ask you a crazy question. If you could be reincarnated, how do you say that word? Reincarnated? Can we do that again? No, I'm just kidding. As one of your characters in a sticker, what would you come back as? What?
Well, it would probably be obviously a monkey.
Okay.
Because the monkey is the one animal that I identify with.
Yeah.
So back when I was in college, I had this course on identity, branding, right?
Okay.
It's one of the graphic design courses. And I had to do a lot of research on pre-Columbian art.
Okay.
Right? So pre-Columbian art is all the indigenous art that happened right before all the colonizers came and fucked everything up for us.
Okay.
Thank you, Sticks.
Hello.
I'm South African, bro.
Oh, that's true. I forget.
I was colonized too, bitch.
I forget.
Sticks, get in here. Sticks, come on. Correct this man, because this is actually going down right now. Sticks is in the house.
I'm from South Africa, so I was also colonized.
Yeah, I just sorry. I forgot you were not British. You
So
just lived
we're
there.
not going to take that over. We're leaving that in.
So again, again, as I'm doing research in college about pre-Columbian art, I found this really cool pre-Columbian art of a monkey, right? And what monkey meant to them. Right. So a monkey is like an active animal that is always creative and using their hands to do whatever they can.
Right.
So I just felt myself identify with the creature of the monkey, let's say.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm a person that's always just like moving around. I'm always like working on something or doing something. I like to like just, I never stop. I always have like 1,000 ideas and projects, and I kind of like just try to like tackle them one at a time. So if I was to come back as a character, it would probably be a monkey.
The monkey.
But I draw a lot of animals. I kind of try to like humanize them in some sort of way.
Right.
I kind of try to put them in places where I think they would fit, like...
Exactly.
So like the gorilla, he's got to have the nice kicks just because he's on top of the world, you know what I mean? Like he's got to have that style and that flash and that flair.
I see that.
And then some of the times I use, gold teeth on some of the characters, crowns, gold chains and stuff like that. So... But I always, let's say I try to, describe my work as spiritual steez, let's say.
Spiritual steez.
Yeah, so it's steezy because it has that style and that connection and that vibe to it. But it's very spiritual connected because it relates to animals and the emotion that goes behind it.
Well, every person should identify with some kind of animal in their life.
For sure.
To be honest, my uncle used to call me Chango back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you were the monkey, too.
I was the monkey, but because I used to climb... Well, we used to own a dry cleaners back in the day, so they had bars to hang up all the clothes.
Uh-huh.
But I was the guy climbing, just, kind of exploring the whole place, in other words. And you couldn't stop me from climbing a tree as a kid, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I kind of identify also as a monkey. So that's kind of cool.
Hell yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. But I really didn't like Chango. It felt weird to be called that, but it's all good. Now everybody calls me Skate Show. Remember that. Motherfuckers. All right. So that's pretty much it, man. Dude, thank you for fucking showing up, dude. Man. I want to thank you again 1,000%. Because not everybody's going to know this, but Sticks Champion was in town. This gentleman actually brought him to the house and had him come down and bless us with the interview. So you already seen it.